So, 30 years after your previous installment, you finally decide to give this franchise a comeback after nearly 30 years of absence since the last one. And this fucking bullshit is what you chose? Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover 120 here, and I'm here with a brand new movie rant. And this movie rant is going to be for the third installment in this franchise. And no, it's not a sequel to the previous installment. It's for a reboot. Basically, we all know, we pretty much all know how this began. In 1984, we had a movie called Ghostbusters. And it was very great. Which got a sequel, we all know how it went, but leading up to this, so I think we all know how the whole fiasco of this movie began. In 2011, now director Paul Feig released a comedy movie called Bridesmaids. It was really funny and successful with critics and comedy lovers, and launched Paul Feig's career. It even got an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, Golden Globe or Academy Award or something for Best Supporting Actress from Melissa McCarthy. I think maybe just for one scene anyways, but and it launched both Paul and Melissa's careers. And then in 2013, Paul Feig directed The Heat. It was decently enjoyable, but not on the same level as Bridesmaids. Then in 2015, Paul directed Spy, and it was pretty funny, especially with some very fun and enjoyable moments from Jason Statham, who was probably the best moments of that movie. And then in 2016, he made this abortion. Yeah, that abortion from 2016. And I think you all remember this, especially if you're a Ghostbusters fan. When the trailers came out, they were notoriously disliked by just about everybody on YouTube. In fact, they became some of the most disliked videos on YouTube ever. And when the film was released in theaters on July 2016, it was decently received by critics, but audiences, especially Ghostbusters fans themselves, hated the hell out of it. And for good reasons, too. Because it's an even worse disgrace to fans of the original movie. And at box office, it wasn't that bad of a flop. It did make 229 million worldwide. I don't know. However, take this in concept. The movie had a budget of $144 million. And that amount for a movie like that is not good. No. So, that caused it to be a massive box office bomb. And ever since then, this movie's gone on to be one of the worst reboots of all time. And it's a good example of how you don't do a reboot. And no, guys, before you go attacking me because you think I'm just bashing that this movie stars women, no. That's not why. It's nothing to do with the cast. It's nothing to do with the gender swap. Not at all. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with certain gender swaps. Guys, the reason I hate this movie is the writing, the planning, the fact that it's just a shot-for-shot rehash of a 1984 classic. Just take everything good out of it. But, I mean, as much as I loved Bridesmaids, Heat, and Spy, Paul Feig is not Ghostbusters material, and he should have realized that. He's just not Ghostbusters material. But anyway, before we get into all the bad qualities of this movie, what's the plot of this version? Well, in this version, paranormal researcher Abby Yates and psychiatrist Aaron Gilbert, played by Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig, are trying to prove that ghosts exist in modern society. When strange apparitions appear in Manhattan, Gilbert and Yates turn to engineer Jillian Holtzman for help. After joining the team is Patty Tolan, a lifelong New Yorker who knows the city, who are both played by Kate McKinnon and Leslie Jones, by the way, who knows the city inside and out. Armed with proton packs and plenty of attitude, the four women prepare for an epic battle as more than 1,000 mischievous ghosts descend into Times Square. That's pretty much the plot, pretty much like the first film. So that's already, yeah. This movie literally wastes the talents of four actresses who I actually do find funny in plenty of other things. Like Kristen Wiig, for example. I actually love Kristen Wiig. I think she's funny, as well as she does plenty of other good roles, like the comedy film Paul, Cheat on Wonder Woman 1984, even though her character was a bit wasted. I mean, yeah, she has quite a few good roles, except for this. And I'm bashing the writing, guys, just so you know. I am not bashing any of the actresses for this. I know it was none of the actresses' fault. It was pretty much the writers for how this movie got wrote. And the actresses were kind of just doing their job and just had to do what the script told them to do, really. So, yeah, I kind of think it's a little unfair that some people got, what I kind of don't really like about the backlash for this is that some people have good reason to dislike it, but how they use their opinions, they got a little too violent with their opinions, and they started attacking the actresses on Twitter. They attacked Leslie Jones on Twitter, and she had to delete her Twitter account because of that. But yeah, some of the backlash did go a little bit too far. I will admit that. Like even me and a few other YouTube buddies of mine are actually dislike this movie for mature reasons that are actually mature to dislike a movie. But anyway, let's just get on with all the bad qualities of this movie, because I'm still not defending it. Despite the film being a reboot and having, I guess, some improvements that weren't shown in the original film, this is just literally a rehash of the original Ghostbusters, and it copies many elements from other movies. It feels more like a remake of the original film rather than an actual reboot. Many characters are really mediocre to unlikable, with being very annoying, cliched, and idiotic in a bad way. It even lacks the charm of the original movie. Like the main characters. Abby Yates, Aaron Gilbert, Jillian Holtzman, and Patty Tolan are all portrayed as completely very obnoxious, annoying, unlikable, selfish, whiny spoiled brats, and lack the chemistry and charisma, as well as inferior to the original Ghostbusters had in the original 1984 film and its sequel. And this is only the writing, guys. I'm only bashing the writing. For example, at one point, like, the new team, they don't build their equipment from scratch. Oh, no. No. They steal their equipment from a college needed to build the proton packs instead of building them from scratch like the original Ghostbusters team in 1984. They didn't steal their proton packs. They got fired from their university jobs, but that didn't stop them from still doing their work. No, they built their proton packs from scratch, and they even trained themselves how to use them. They tested out their equipment before they went and used it to make sure it worked. Here, they just somehow seem to know how to use their equipment. Unlike the actual team that actually took some practice and actually before that. And let's get on with probably the most annoying character in this movie. Kevin Beckman, the receptionist that they hire. Oh my god. Man, I feel bad for poor Chris Hemsworth. I feel bad that Paul Feig made him play in this. Like, I can't believe Paul made Thor actually star in this crap reboot. Man. Yeah, like, I prefer Chris Hemsworth better as Thor, not as Kevin, not the receptionist in this movie. Like, he's probably the number one most annoying character in this whole film. They make him way too idiotic. Now that I do think about it, guys, literally all the men in this movie are portrayed as idiots. No, every man character in this movie is a moron. No joke. And then the villain, Dr. Rowan North. Neil Casey's character is this lame and stupid antagonist and doesn't come off as scary even when he's in ghost form. And all the other side characters are even forgettable and pointless. And overall, it seems as if the casting choices were made solely for the sake of having a female-led cast. Like, there's nothing wrong with... I don't think there's anything wrong with having a female-led spin-off or something, but there's nothing... I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's how this movie was made and how they wrote it. Like, yeah. Like, weak writing and acting mixed with tons of pointless pop culture references to better films and TV series, like Patrick Swayze films, yeah. Yeah, I kid you not, they had the nerve to make fun of frickin' Ghost, that Patrick Swayze film from 1990 in this, and that's one of my favorite movies of all time. Come on! The Wizard of Oz, Jaws, etc. Some mediocre special effects that have their moments, especially for the green screen effects for the ghosts. Some forced political agendas that make the movie blatantly misandrous, with the female characters are considered strong and smart while the main characters are weak, dumb, and idiotic, and it results in nearly all the characters being unlikable, making this an SJW movie. A variety of very unfunny, repetitive, stale, obnoxious, disgusting juvenile humor is featured in this film, ranging from toilet humor to sex jokes. Another piece of humor that fails is the running gag of Abby whining about wontons 3 times. Yeah. And blind amount of product placements too, like Blu-ray, YouTube, Pringles, Papa John's Pizza, and Coca-Cola. And I even dare this. When Abby and Holtzman play this sound they think was found a ghost in their hotel room, the sound is literally a fart. A freaking fart. And they said it was a ghost sound. So good, we have to have a fart joke in Ghostbusters now. Great idea. They even advertised as a letterbox film too, but the green screen effects on the ghosts are put in 16.9 widescreen. There's even an entire scene in the 16.9 widescreen format, and the film that is supposed to be in the 2.35.1 aspect ratio. And there's even too many unnecessary dancing scenes, as pointed out in Red Letter Media's review as well as Honest Trailer, and those scenes get even worse in the extended cut and makes them longer than 1 or 2 minutes. That would make the dancing in Spider-Man 3 look so much better by comparison. Yeah, I would rather sit through Bully McGuire over the dance scenes in this. The film even actually has the audacity to take shots at its detractors, which comes off as immature, disrespectful, and abrasive. There being one scene when the new Ghostbusters see a comment on YouTube that reads, "Ain't no bitches gonna hunt no ghosts." And that said, the film's director, Paul Feig, acted abrasive towards the criticism of the film by accusing the detractors of this film being misogynist and labeling fans of the original films as trolls. He also showed support for Jones and criticized Twitter's handling the situation. Now don't get me wrong, guys. I think how Twitter acted towards Leslie Jones was way too hard and a little uncalled for, but you could see why he did try to defend Jones, but how he did it was not any better. How he tried to defend her was definitely not more mature than they were. He was like, "F the haters, and haters attack me all you want, but when you attack and insult my cast, you've crossed the line. Grow up and leave my cast alone." Dude. Oh my god. You're defending your cast, so you're acting like Twitter people? Really? That's not how you defend your actors, dude. And yeah, I get it's not any of the actress's fault once again. The ghosts look like a poor man's version of the ones from either the Haunted Mansion or the live-action Scooby-Doo films. In fact, Rowan's ghost form design is a blended ripoff of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, although Rowan doesn't wear a hat. The ghost balloons also look too similar to the Joker's balloons in Batman as well, and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man looks ridiculous as a balloon, And while the new theme song covered by Fall Out Boy and Missy Elliott is somewhat catchy, it was atrocious due to its use of pop rock and rap that doesn't match the tone for the film and musical structure. And the film overall feels more like a bad Saturday Night Live skit, especially since our four main actresses are regular members of the such show. Some pointless features, cameo appearances by various celebrities such as actors and especially the original cast, but not as their actual characters, which is on par with a bad Adam Sandler or Happy Madison movie. An infamous scene where the main character shoot Rowan in his giant ghost form, right in the groin, in a PG-13 movie. Some media that started the infamous trend of SJW, radical feminism propaganda films that escalated the infamous Me Too movement started a year later. Mediocre and funny dialogue too, that sounds like it's too unusual for its characters. The new Ghostbuster collecting uniforms look ridiculous and garbage, and much of the pointless and confusing events that is full of continuing errors and plot holes, and all damage to property people caused by either the portal, Rowan, or the Ghostbusters themselves seems to magically repair itself following the final battle, and the people outside the hotel in particular would undoubtedly have been killed when Rowan broke his way out. But there is no indication of this on screen. And the women complain about their company being called Ghostbusters, but they themselves have named their YouTube channel Ghostbusters instead of something else that they might have preferred. And when Abby is being thrown around the alley while testing the proton pack, the position of her hand changes. If she could move her hands enough and still keep hold of it, why didn't she just let go? Her finger wouldn't have been on the trigger anymore. She wouldn't have been in any danger. And in the original movies, there's no restaurant across the street from Hook and Ladder's number 8's firehouse. The Ecto one even occasionally has a red and blue LED light bar at the rear of the car that seems to appear and disappear in different moments, but throughout the film, when pulling at the Ghostbusters headquarters, a reflection of the lights can be seen on the rear wall of the garage, and in the same sequence, while driving through New York, the light bar is missing. And Erin just magically, how she defeats a Stay Puft Marshmallow Balloon, she pops it with a Swiss Army knife. There is no way a hole the size of a knife like that would have made it explode. It would have just deflated while the gas inside leaked from the hole. However, this is a ghostly balloon, so the rules of psychics may be a bit different. Like, there's just so many other bad qualities, too, like Jillian Holtzman even refers to Pringles as salty parabolas. Parabola is a curve in a plane. The actual shape of Pringles is a hyperbolic paraboloid. I.e., slices along one axis and are paraboloids, while slices along the other axes are hyperbolas. However, despite this, are there some decent redeeming qualities? Yeah, I guess there are some decent qualities that prevent this that managed to help this escape getting a 0 out of 10. Like that the original cast from the first two movies, despite being pointless, actually do make cameo appearances as a way of still somewhat connecting to Ghostbusters. At least, and even though the theme song was atrocious, there was at least a neat soundtrack by Theodore Shapiro. In fact, I do like the soundtrack of this movie, I will admit. A lot of good designs for the ghosts, too. And I do like some of the visuals, I'll admit that. And then also, there's one scene I do like, and that's where Martin Heiss, aka Bill Murray's cameo, informs the new Ghostbusters that you only lack the proper equipment like a garage truck to hang onto the back of, which was so accurate because their uniforms do like garbage collecting uniforms, and it's quite an epic burn, too. Yeah. But overall, this is indeed a disgraceful reboot, and known for being the beginning of a dark age in Hollywood, for what would become a popular trend in a majority of other franchises such as Star Wars and Marvel, for example. To come and has continued till this very day, so fuck this movie hard, and here's how I'm going to rank it. I am going to give Wokebusters a 2 out of 10. Hey, caramba. Well, if there's good thing to be said about this, we are finally done talking about Ghostbusters movies. Leading up to Ghostbusters Afterlife that will be coming out next Friday, not this upcoming Friday, but next Friday on November 19th. And before I end this video, like to announce what's going to be happening around this month. So, this month, I'm going to be trying to finish reviewing the Die Hard films, finish reviewing the Cabin Fever films, now that I still, although, unfortunately with Cabin Fever, I still have to sit through the fucking remake. Oh my god! Right, I'm also thinking, yeah, some other stuff, but, I will do Christmas movie reviews, although this season's Christmas movie reviews is gonna likely be Christmas specials this time, like Rankin Bass ones, and when it comes to, however, around December 22nd, I will likely be taking a big holiday break from YouTube around December 22nd for most of the Christmas holiday part. Because, well, I've got family coming over that time, and I there are family members I have not seen in years, especially because of COVID. So I'd really like to spend more time with them and just make a bunch of videos every single time. And I'm sorry guys, but when it comes to like holidays, family comes first over YouTube. Empire Fan, yeah, even kind of like what Empire Fan Productions say. There's more to life than just YouTube videos. But anyway, but there are still some things coming around November. But I will still likely review No Way Home, which will be coming out before they arrive. So, but anyway, that will be it for this rant. Thank you all for watching. If you like this and want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe to Movie Lover 120.